Hey guys, it's Amy at Zoe back, and I'm going to do my weekly reading update for July 5th, 2020. So again, I took a break in June for a little bit, so I didn't do any of my weekly updates. So I did a wrap up that I posted Friday of what I did read in June, which I mean was a fair number, but not as well as I'd like. I would say my reading is very up and down still. The last couple months have just been like that, just world stress, you know, all that kind of stuff. So I'm gonna go through the books that I read, the ones that I'm in the middle of, and what I think I'm gonna read in the next week. So quick little update. I'm pretty proud of myself. My brother and I own a duplex together, and we had to have an appraisal done due to do some refinancing for our loan, and we had to paint part of that front of the house because I had new gutters put on. We had new gutters put on last year, and it had kind of been kind of bad. They'd been pretty bad, so they had rusted part of the front of the house on our pretty paint that we put on 5 years ago. So we just retouched it up. We did it last week, the first coat, and then we just did the second coat today. And it looks really good, so I'm really glad we did that. So kudos for Amy to get some home projects done. We're not very think about that. Both my brother and I are very homebodies, but we're more in our houses. Anyway, so we got some stuff done around the house, which was nice. So I'm feeling pretty proud of myself. Anyway, so sorry. Home ownership. Anyway, so I did not finish very many things this week. Again, due to the fact I'm reading very, very slowly, and it doesn't help that on Friday Animal Crossing had an update, which we got to. If you play the game, you get to go swimming now and diving in the water, and it's awesome. And I played almost as many on my day off on Friday. I played probably as much as I would have worked. It was really close. I had so much fun. It was just great. Anyway, so I'm having fun the game again. I mean, I was still playing it a lot, but just maybe not every day anymore. But now I'm back to every day for a little bit, at least, you know, for the next week or so. So I'll cut into my reading. Anyway, so the only major book that I finished this week was my audiobook. I was listening to Stamped from the Beginning by Ibram X. Kendi, The Definitive History of Racial Ideas in America. It was narrated by Christopher Piper. I got the audiobook from my library, so I'd waited about a month to get that, and again I listened to several other audiobooks in the meantime, but I bought a copy of this. You'll see this in my upcoming book haul, but I really enjoyed having a physical copy as well as listening to it. There are so many things in here I will want to go back and revisit, and also look at certain points in United States history that I want to go back and research more. So this book was really good about going from the very beginning of when, you know, white settlers came to the Americas, and how their ideas on race and on on superiority and you know, being the ones in charge kind of stemmed like all policies between now and then. And I think it was really well done. I highly recommend this book for anybody who wants to research it. This is more a book up my alley than his How to Be an Anti-Racist. I really thought that was really well done for what it was, but again, I said it was much more of an overview, and it was much more his take on things, and he was more involved in it because it was part of his memoir kind of thing. This was very much more historical, history nonfiction, and then I think that he did really well of just showing the facts of what we know, and he's not inserted himself into this very rarely, except in the very end. And I really thought that was really well done. I think it's very readable. I think it is an easy way to actually see systematic racism from the beginning and see how things got better, and then they get worse, and then they get better, and they get even much worse. And it was just like, it was really heartbreaking most of the time through reading this, even though I knew a lot of this history. He picked some really cool viewpoints and places to show all of this, and I think he did a really good job. I really recommend this book. Again, I gave it 5 stars. I think it's one of the best nonfiction books I've read this year, for sure. And I really, I think it was really well done. So I really appreciated getting to listen to that. And again, I had the physical copy now, and I can go back because there are definitely areas where I'm like, I need to read more on that person because they wrote some book that was very controversial, and I kind of want to go back and read some of those. So that was pretty cool. It was a great book. Okay, the only other book I finished was one of my used books that I bought in end of May, or sorry, no, I bought this early part of June, so it's in my book haul. Sorry, another spoiler, but I just wanted to reread it. So this little cute little things on a Debbie Tong is, you know, the artist, and she writes about book loving and you know, being an introvert and stuff, and it is just a cute little book. And I read this, I think last year or the year before, I can't remember which year, and I just wanted a copy of my own, and I got it when Pals had a sale, which you'll see that book haul tomorrow. Anyway, so another spoiler for that, sorry, but I really wanted to reread this since I brought it out, and I'm like, oh, let's just read it. So it was really nice yesterday just to kind of, I looked at it for a few, you know, because it's really, I mean, as I said, it's really fast. So it didn't take me long. I just would read a little bit of it, and then I put it down, and then I'd come back and read a little bit more. And it was just so much fun. So then the two books that I'm physically in reading right now, I have a lot of books I'm currently reading that I'm not reading right now. We're just going to talk about the two that I'm actively reading. So I'm still reading Into the Storm by Taylor Anderson. This is a reread for me. I read it the first time back in 2011. I think it came out in 2009. I bought it when it came out because it looked so cool, and then it took me a couple years to read it. And then I read the first 3 books between 2011 and 2012. And then in 2014 or 15, I reread the first 3 books and then read the 4th book. And then I never read any more. Well, book number 15 just came out, and it is the final book in the series. So I've decided to revisit this. Now that the series has an ending and I know it's coming, I can go back. And I don't remember a whole lot about this. So, I mean, I remembered the premise and a lot of scenes. I remember a lot of characters that I really liked or didn't like. And so, but it's great rereading this. It's just taking me, it's really slow for me right now because there's so many characters, and I forgot. This is one of the best ensemble casts. Like, there are dozens of people. And so you have to, it's hard sometimes if you are someone who doesn't remember who is who, you're going to have trouble. And I admit to that. Even I mean, I'm pretty good at usually keeping people straight, but it takes me a little time sometimes to go, wait, oh, that's that person in that position. Again, this is there's many, many males in this book. It's very testosterone driven. This is World War II, alternative history. 2 destroyers are in a battle against the U.S. destroyers are in a battle with a Japanese ship, and they go into a squall to get away because they were losing pretty bad in the Java Sea, and they end up in an alternate universe where evolution has gone a different way. And let's just say I'm not quite sure what happened, if that asteroid ever came or not. So I really enjoyed this. So again, you have to deal with men who are in the 40s who are, you know, they're lost, and there's not that many women. There's only a few nurses who came with them. So there's going to be that kind of problems. But I mean, again, this is early days. So I know stuff like that comes later, and there's like twists and turns that come in the later books. Like 4 ended on a cliffhanger, which is why I don't know why I did not pick up book number 5 at the time. I do not remember. Anyway, so I'm revisiting this series. I know I talked about this. I just think nobody talks about this series on BookTube, and I find it so much fun. But you do have to know it's a lot of guys, so if you're not into that, don't read it. It has action and adventure, and again, weird things about different evolutionary tracks. And I have fun with these books. Now again, a lot of characters though. So as I said, it's just taking me some time. So I'm at 120 pages from the end. I'm hoping to get this done today or tomorrow because I've been reading it for like 2 weeks. But I'm hoping to get that done. So then I'm hoping by the end of July or early August, I will pick up book number 2 and just try to do a book every month to 2 months and just try to get it done. Anyway, and then the other book I'm reading right now is Jane Austen's Selected Letters. So these are her letters. I'm doing this for Jane Austen July. This is my first pick. This is the last thing I have not read of hers, is read her letters. And I'm actually kind of mad at myself that I bought this, I mean, this wasn't a like cheap version, but you know, like it was probably a third of the, probably, you know, half to a third of the cost of what the full collection of her letters would have been. And I'm contemplating paying $30 for that, but we'll see. I want to at least read this year, and then maybe I'll buy that at some point for myself as a present. And then I can read the rest of them later, because I'm missing about 65 letters, I think. So this is about 95 letters, I think 95 or 90, I don't remember what the number is. And it's 97 letters. So I think, yeah, so I think they're missing about just under 65. But again, I'm going to get the gist of it. I'm going to get most of them. So this is her letters, mostly between 1797 or 6. I guess it starts in 6, and goes to 1796, and then it goes to just before her death in 1817. So as I said, so it's for Jane Austen July. This is the last thing I have not read that was written by her. So as I said, I hope to do that, and then again, I think I really am going to buy the other collection, but not yet. I will deal with this and be fine for now. So that is my pick for the Jane Austen, one of the prompts for it, to read something that's other than her 6 novels. So anyway, so I've only read 5 letters yesterday, because it took me a while to read the introduction. It was really a good introduction, and I think normally I do not read for classics the introduction until afterwards, but this was different because these are her letters and it's not a novel. I don't want to be spoiled for stuff, but I knew a lot of the stuff about the letters from the biographies I read, like by Lucy Worsley, Jane Austen at Home, and I know I've read another one at some point. And there's a couple other other biographies I want to pick up on Jane Austen at some point. So anyway, so I'm really enjoying the letters. I've only read 5, but I like seeing the domestic side of her, like just normal stuff. She's talking to her sister mostly right now. So I'm getting stuff out of it. I think it's interesting. So anyway, so going into the next week, I'm not sure what book I'll pick up after I finish Into the Storm, because it's probably going to be one of my Jane Austen July picks, because I have a couple of them. I might be Anne Radcliffe, or it might be Heartstone. I don't know. We'll see. I'm not quite sure, but I do know what audiobook I'm picking up. I'm probably not going to start this today. I'm probably going to start it tomorrow during work at some point. And that is the Jane Austen Society by Natalie Jenner. I got it audio from my library, and it's narrated by Richard Armitage. So I'm going to enjoy that. So I'm hoping I like this book. All I know is it's after World War II, and I think they're trying to save the house that Crawton, I think that's how you said where she stayed near the last few years of her life. So I think close to one of her brother's estates. So, or on it, I don't remember. It's close there. Anyway, so I'm not quite sure a whole lot about it. I'm guessing it's people talking about Jane Austen and about her life and stuff. So I don't know. I've heard fair good things with it online, but not a whole lot. I haven't seen a lot about it. So we're going to give that a shot as my audiobook this week, so that I do that for Jane Austen July. So that is it. That is where I'm at on reading. I don't know, as I said, when I get done with Into the Storm, I'm going to pick something else. The selected letters I'm planning to kind of read over the next couple weeks. I'm going to read at least 5 letters a day. And then maybe, so that takes me about 20 days to read, 18, 19 days to read all of them. And then if I read more per day, that's fine. But I want to just dip in and out of it unless I get to a point where I want to read it all. And I just don't think I'm going to, because letters, you know, again, they're letters. I don't know. We'll see how that goes. So, but I'm definitely get it done by the end of the month. I'm just going to take it slow. So that's it. So how are you guys' reading going? What are you reading? Anything good? Are you rereading still a lot like I am? Or are you reading something for Jane Austen July? Let me know, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.